Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Michael King, Marshal of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences. On behalf of the faculty and the Dean of the Columbian College, I am delighted to welcome you to this inaugural hooding ceremony for the Columbian College in the 196th year of the George Washington University. We congratulate all of our doctoral candidates and join with you, their families and friends in celebration this weekend as we share sincere pride in our graduates' achievements. I now have the pleasure of introducing Jeffrey Brand, Associate Dean for Graduate Studies, who will explain the symbolism of the academic regalia that we wear and the hoods which today's doctoral degree candidates will be entitled to wear. Dean Brand.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great and unconcealed pride that we gather here to honor our doctoral candidates in the company of the faculty who supervised their work and the families and friends who've encouraged them through years of preparation. We know that you'd be happy to be here no matter how our graduates were dressed, but as this is an academic ceremony, we thought a brief exposition on academic costume seems appropriate. You'll be hearing about this shortly from Dean Ben Vinson, the Dean of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences. The Doctor of Philosophy and Doctor of Psychology are some of the highest earned degrees available in the world of learning. The designation Doctor denotes that the holder has made an important contribution to knowledge and is ready to contribute more. Importantly, the holder is also ready to teach others to make their own contributions. The doctoral degrees have become, over time, the most prominent to be awarded by any university. Doctoral programs demand the longest and most arduous courses of study and research. Presentation of the doctoral hood in today's ceremony represents the seminal moment when the candidate's mentor and school acknowledge symbolically the passage of knowledge from one generation to the next. Let me offer my congratulations to today's graduates and wish each of you the best in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
It is now my pleasure to call upon Dean Ben Vinson III to offer formal good wishes and deliver his charge to today's doctoral candidates. A professor of history and Dean of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences, Dean Vinson is an acknowledged teacher-scholar. With our faculty, he continues the tradition of excellence that is at the core of the Columbian College. And now, Dean Vinson, I am pleased to present to you the doctoral candidates of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences, the class of 2017.
Dr. King, distinguished members of the faculty, doctoral candidates, family and friends, it is an honor to be standing here before you to participate in not only an important part of our commencement exercises, but also an incredibly significant moment in the lives of our candidates. To the best of our knowledge, it was at some obscure moment in the 12th or 13th century when the practice of conferring a doctoral hood was adopted for the first time in medieval Europe. Hooding was a mark of distinction and recognition. These were the days when teachers, scholars, and professors also took ecclesiastical vows, were tonsured, and wore skull caps to cover their partially shaved heads. Long flowing gowns kept scholars warm as they worked and read in their alcoves and studies, sometimes in frigid temperatures. An academic's dress mimicked that of clerics and served as a symbol of learnedness in a time when knowledge was held by precious few. So the hood was something like a peacock's feathers, intended to inspire awe and impress onlookers to see what people might not otherwise see, one's education and pedigree in society. A hood made knowledge visible. In the 14th century, the practice of hooding and the wearing of academic regalia was stepped up a notch when it went to England, with universities having distinct caps, gowns, and hoods, and different colors based upon academic discipline. One's regalia also varied according to academic rank and achievement. Undergraduates typically wore black gowns with beaver-backed hoods or hoods of wool. Accomplished professors with a doctoral degree wore silk-backed hoods or beautiful hoods lined with luxurious fur. In the 18th century, the practice of wearing academic regalia and being hooded hopped across the pond and became a feature here in the United States. As far as we know, we think that the American practice of wearing academic regalia started at Columbian University. In the 19th century, many faculty were expected to teach in their gowns and hoods. And when I was a faculty member at Johns Hopkins in the early 2000s, I still remember a renowned professor of Latin American history, the late John Russell Wood, originally from Wales, who had been known for teaching regularly in his academic regalia. But what exactly is a hooding ceremony? And Dean Brand alluded to this. It is, of course, an event that is steeped in symbolism and pageantry. It is emblematic of the passing of the guard and of passing of knowledge from one generation of doctors to the next. The hooding ceremony encapsulates a moment in time when you've accomplished all you can as a student. It is your turn to confer knowledge, to advance the field, to move beyond intellectual frontiers. The hood symbolizes the power of knowledge, the power of creativity and its transformative force to improve the world through your work. I certainly recall this moment when I was hooded in my own career. Dean Eduardo Macagno of the graduate school at Columbia University gathered us all in the university chapel, and our family and friends were witnesses. And after a solemn ceremony, we received a handshake, and the moment happened. The hoods were on, and we were doctors. Some of us looked overjoyed. Others, quite frankly, looked dead tired from the work that it took to get there. Others were anxious, and for some reason, I don't know why, when I look back at pictures of the day, I was wearing a smirk on my face, and my children asked, "Well, Dad, what's that all about?" I have no idea. But our hooding was the end of one journey, a seemingly endless one, from the trenches of the dissertation to the dungeons of field exams, to the oasis of research and the carousel of classes that we took. The hooding was an endpoint, and it was also a new beginning. Doctors, you may very well be where I was, fidgety about what's next. The PhD was not and is not the end of your story. Your hoods represent your opportunity, your tomorrow, which will be as awe-inspiring as the colors you now wear. Like me, I know that you will continue to navigate obstacles, make difficult choices, come to terms with the roadblocks and the curveballs that will inevitably be thrown your way. You will face the unknown. I vividly recall, as if it were yesterday, my own cluelessness when I landed my first job at Barnard College. When I reported for my first day on the job, I was given the keys to the office and told to get to work. There was absolutely no guidance at all. I had absolutely no idea what I was supposed to do. I spent the first 10 to 15 minutes on the job spinning around in my chair in my office, just figuring it out, trying to figure it all out. I had to make it up along the way, and this may be you, and you will be okay. Receiving your doctoral hood from GW places you in some pretty distinguished company. A little known fact is that the Columbian College is one of the first PhD granting institutions in the United States. The college's first Doctor of Philosophy was awarded to two already sitting faculty members in the Columbian College. Professor of Latin Andrew Montague and Professor of Mathematics and German, Professor James Howard Gore. The graduates who followed were impressive. Ralph Alpher, the world-renowned physicist and publisher of the Big Bang Theory, who received his PhD from the Columbian College in 1948. Julius Axelrod, the Nobel laureate. and celebrated NIH research neuroscientist who graduated in 1955. Our more recent graduates include a distinguished member of our own faculty who's here today, Lisa Bolek, a professor of applied social psychology at Columbian College, whose groundbreaking research is providing new insights on HIV prevention and interventions based on racial, class, and gender identities. We now add you to the list of greats. We are so impressed with the research you have worked on during your years at GW. Your dissertations range from the impact of fiscal institutions on budgets and growth to looking into new ways to target and treat tuberculosis. You are doing relevant, important work, and you should feel proud of what you've accomplished. Looking ahead, many of you will follow in your faculty's footsteps and choose the path of academia. Others may not. Wherever your tomorrow takes you, remind yourself that you are more prepared for the road ahead, for understanding and controlling your destiny than you can possibly imagine. As a doctoral student, you've taken extraordinary journeys, from the classroom to the laboratory to field sites around the world. You've written formulas, analyzed policy, deciphered our evolutionary past, delved deeper into the workings of the brain, and have searched for ways to mitigate climate change. These moments, the connections you've made, you will continue to draw upon these as you move forward. Whatever path you choose, value what you bring to the table. Don't take for granted your capacity to transform knowledge. You have collected a rich reservoir of deep knowledge that may help change a life, touch a community, impact our world. Please continue to draw upon these from the depths of your expertise. Be the change makers, be the creators, the discoverers, the innovators, the leaders that will push our society forward. All of your years of study have brought you to this moment. All of us in this room today pause collectively to salute you. Please remember that your GW experience does not end with graduation. We hope that you come back to campus, that you stay connected with GW and the Columbian College. Derive support from our faculty. Connect with our network of fellow alumni. Mentor a student. Support a project. Class of 2017, all of us on this stage want to extend you a hearty congratulations and good luck to all of you.
Thank you, Dean Vinson. It is now our pleasure to introduce, one by one, your sons and daughters, spouses, parents, and special friends whose noble achievement we celebrate today with the presentation of their doctoral hood. In order that none of the names of our honorees will get lost, we ask you to withhold your most exuberant good wishes until all of the graduates have been presented, at which time we will join together in saluting all. As Dean Vinson takes his place in front of the podium, let me ask the marshals to bring the candidates forward to the stage. As each of the doctoral candidates is introduced, they will be joined by their faculty mentor or advocate who will assist the dean in hooding the candidate. Again, please hold your more spirited congratulations until all have been presented.
The candidates for the Doctor of Psychology, Maxwell Anderson Brooks, hooded by Professor James Sexton. Rachel Elizabeth Cannon, hooded by Professor Sarah Headland. Gurgi Furdeshi, hooded by Professor Sarah Headland. Kasha J. Garland, hooded by Professor Sarah Headland. Stephanie N. Hellwig, hooded by Professor James Sexton. Claire Elise Holland, hooded by Professor Sarah Headland. Maria Felipe Martins Lima, hooded by Professor Sarah Headland. Lauren Elizabeth Madlock, hooded by Professor Catherine Marshall Woods. Elizabeth S. Michelli, hooded by Professor Sarah Headland. Jamie E. Miller, hooded by Professor James Sexton. Jacqueline Dean Pembleton, hooded by Professor Sherry Marmarosh. Nicole Remy Reynosa, hooded by Professor Catherine Marshall Woods. Faye Turley, hooded by Professor Sherry Marmarosh. Angelica C. Van Wagenen, hooded by Professor Loring Ingram. Reka Marion Vergis, hooded by Professor Sherry Marmarosh. Michelle Wallace, hooded by Professor Sherry Marmarosh. Maya Yoruba Williams, hooded by Professor Loring Ingram. The candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy: Sergei Aganezov, Mathematics, hooded by Professor Joseph Przetsky. Natalie Alizaga, Psychology, hooded by Professor Lisa Boleg. Christy Marie Arendt, Political Science, hooded by Professor Kimberly Morgan. Cynthia Josette Arevalo Gross, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Catherine Newcomer. Janine Beha Beekman, Psychology, hooded by Professor Michelle Stock. Ferhat Ibrahim Bilgin, Economics, hooded by Professor Joseph Peltzman. Nikki Blacksmith, Psychology, hooded by Professor David Costanza. Imtiaz Bhatti, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Joseph Cordes. Robert Carlton Brothers, Chemistry, hooded by Professor Cynthia Dowd. Danielle Renee Busby, Psychology, hooded by Professor Sharon Lambert. Siwon Byun, Political Science, hooded by Professor Mike Mochizuki. Corey Prescott Carter, Chemistry, hooded by Professor Christopher Cahill. Chen Chen, Statistics, hooded by Professor Hossam Mahmoud. Yarong Feng, Statistics, hooded by Professor Hossam Mahmoud. Li Chung and guests, Statistics, hooded by Professor Ching Pan. Devin English, Psychology, hooded by Professor Sharon Lambert. Lauren Michelle Eister, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Catherine Newcomer. Sarah Virginia Fitzsimmons, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Hal Woolman. Jocelyn Hawkins Fountain, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Stephanie Cellini. Patrick Funicello, History, hooded by Professor Marcy Norton. John G. Garrett, History, hooded by Professor Andrew Zimmerman. Amy Yoshiko Geisinger, Economics, hooded by Professor Tara Sinclair. Nicholas Roger Hart, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Catherine Newcomer. Yujin He, Economics, hooded by Professor Joseph Peltzman. Patrick Thomas Henry, English, hooded by Professor Jennifer Green Lewis and Professor Kavita Daya. Yeyao Hu, Mathematics, hooded by Professor Shufeng Ren. Ruth Mesfin Honignaw, Microbiology and Immunology, hooded by Professor Michael Bukrinsky. Robert Brandt Isaacson, History, hooded by Professor Daniel Schwartz. Li Yi Jia, Statistics, hooded by Professor Feifeng Hu. Scott Raymond Kanzan, Statistics, hooded by Professor Hossam Mahmoud. Barnett Samuel Coven, Political Science, hooded by Professor Cynthia McClintock. Charles Richard Krauss, History, hooded by Professor Edward McCord. Chuen Kwan, Economics, hooded by Professor Anthony Yeaser. Scott M. Larson, American Studies, hooded by Professor Joseph Kipkosek and Professor Robert McCrure. Julieta Ercilia Leshinsky, Molecular Medicine, hooded by Professor Anthony LaMantia. Chengman Bonnie Lul, Biological Sciences, hooded by Professor L. Courtney Smith. Ariel Fernando Martinez, Biochemistry and Systems Biology, hooded by Professor Linda Worley. Joseph Rossi McCormick, Economics, hooded by Professor Joseph Cordes. Xiaofan Meng, Economics, hooded by Professor Vinci Fawn. Laura Kristen Molinarski, Psychology, hooded by Professor George Howard. Jessica Jankowski-Nissenbaum and guests. Psychology, hooded by Professor Christina G. Ashley D. Palmer, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Donna Infeld. Farun Piplani, Political Science, hooded by Professor Bruce Dixon. Stephen J. Popick, Economics, hooded by Professor Anthony Yeaser. Lizaida L. I. Rivera, Psychology, hooded by Professor Christina G. Jacqueline Grace Schneider and guests, Political Science, hooded by Professor Charles Glazier. Ruchi Shah, Biochemistry and Systems Biology, hooded by Professor Raj Lakshmi. Vishal Sharma, Biological Sciences, hooded by Professor Damien O'Halloran. Upasna Shokal, Biological Sciences, hooded by Professor L. Courtney Smith. Amir Stepak, Political Science, hooded by Professor Charles Glazier. Jessica Faye Stewart, Chemistry, hooded by Professor Stuart Licht. Caitlin R. Thomas, Psychology, hooded by Professor Lynn Offerman. Maria Candida Duarte Vila, Microbiology and Immunology, hooded by Professor David Leitenberg. Brian C. Whedon, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Scott Pace. Dominic Etienne White, Biological Sciences, hooded by Professor Catherine Forster. Nora E. Wiseman, Public Policy and Administration, hooded by Professor Gregory Squires. Jackson S. Woods, Political Science, hooded by Professor Bruce Dixon. Rachel M. Wynn, Psychology, hooded by Professor Stephen Mitroff. Si Young Yong, Mathematics, hooded by Professor Joseph Przetsky. Wanying Zhao, Statistics, hooded by Professor Feifeng Hu. And Weiwa Zhao, Economics, hooded by Professor Anthony Yazer.
Yes, congratulations to all of our doctoral candidates. Thank you. Would you please be seated? Graduates, please remember to wear your Columbian College medal Sunday at the National Mall. And when you are introduced and recognized by the Dean, I trust that you will let everyone in Washington know that you were there. A sincere note of thanks to those who helped make today special for all of our graduates, including the staff in the Dean's office and Lisner Auditorium, and especially Dean Brand for introducing our graduates. Ladies and gentlemen, as you leave the building, please be mindful of your safety and that of your party. You will be exiting onto a busy street full of city traffic. Rather than linger for photos and greetings outside of the building, we recommend that you move to the open space nearby in the University Yard or Kogan Plaza. To close our program, we ask everybody to join in the singing of the George Washington Alma Mater, led by Professor Millicent Scarlett of the Department of Music, the words and music of which you will find at the end of your program. Immediately thereafter, the Dean will lead the faculty and graduates from the auditorium. We appreciate your kindness in remaining in your places until the conclusion of the program and the Dean's party. The faculty and graduates have left the auditorium. Please rise.